Hey, so ChatGPT just released a new killer feature. This is really good. I've been playing around with this for a while now. I think this is gonna change the game. We're gonna see it live in action. I'm gonna demonstrate some examples and some useful features here of how I think this is gonna be used mostly. I think this is gonna be really useful. First, let's talk about the problems this is addressing. So, as you might know, ChatGPT forgets the data between the sessions. So every time you start a new session, it doesn't remember what you programmed it to do previously, what you prompted it to do. And that will sometimes require you to prompt it again, just copy paste stuff. It gets a little messy. But even a bigger problem than that is that it keeps forgetting the previous prompts as well. So if you may notice, like if you do 3, 4, 5 prompts, the answers are gonna start like forgetting what happened all the way back in the first prompt. And that's actually a big problem. You have to keep reminding ChatGPT, like, stay on point, stay on topic, like, why are you doing this? And it can get a little annoying. This new feature solves that. Okay, let's talk about activation now. So you have to go to the settings and beta, and you have to go to beta features. Keep in mind that this is only available for GPT-4 users. I think they're gonna unroll this for everyone soon. But in the settings, you just enable custom instructions. So now the way you access it is in the menu item. You're gonna see it in the menu here, custom instructions. And you get 2 input fields here. The first one says, what would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? So as you can see, it has like some starters here. Where are you based? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies and interests? That's all fine and good, but I think you'll probably want to give it like more context here. Like, yeah, maybe your profession or your job or what are you working on is a good starting point. I think you can also give it like some personality and what type of like maybe a bit more information about yourself, about your company. That can sometimes come in handy, and it can also help it provide like better, more personal responses, which in the age of AI, that's pretty important. The second one, which in my opinion is more important, says the label here says, how would you like ChatGPT to respond? And also we have like a few guidelines here. How formal or casual should ChatGPT be? How long or short should responses generally be? How do you want to be addressed? Should ChatGPT have opinions on topics or remain neutral? That's pretty good. I think you can use a lot of these. Personally, because I mostly do like content creation, I'm gonna use this often to set the tone, like the voice, the writing style, and maybe help ChatGPT express itself more like I would. Also talk about the precision, the format of the outputs, and basically like how to write the responses. And when it comes to coding, we have a few very interesting examples here as well. Okay, we're gonna get back to this real soon. Let's demonstrate how this works by first showing you how outputs are generated without this. Okay, let's just say I'm writing a blog post on a certain topic for one of my blogs. Maybe we can say something like, please give me a short introductory paragraph about my blog post titled Best Use Cases for ChatGPT. This sounds like something I would be writing, or actually I am going to write very soon. Let's see what it comes up with. In the rapidly evolving world of digital marketing, artificial intelligence and machine learning are driving. Okay, that sounds like a reasonably, everyday, boring, common introduction you would read in most of blog posts of this type. Now let's see if we can make it better. So, and here I'm gonna prompt it with something like, I am a blogger that writes about the technologies. How they I think that's enough for now. I think this one is gonna usually be the most important part. So we're gonna say always create SEO optimized with lots of words. Then right. Then we can say like always write short, simple sentences with lots of stops, commas. Aim for a 5th grade read. Next, we can say something like always use clear, simple, everyday language. Avoid fluff, technical jargon, and everyday terms as much as possible. Yeah, this should be enough for us to get us started. I would probably fill this whole thing here with exactly how I write. Maybe I would do something like add a bit of casual humor. Yeah, that's something I like to do in my writing. So we can save this. So I'm just gonna copy this here and I'm gonna start a new chat with ChatGPT 4. Just make sure that these are saved over there. Awesome. Let's see what it gets us here. So we're gonna use the same prompt. And welcome folks. Okay, it already starts more informally. That's not exactly what I would do, but I think it's trying to follow my instructions, which is really good. Today we're diving into the exciting world of AI, specifically ChatGPT. Well, dear reader. Okay, I see what it's trying to do. It probably needs a bit more tuning, but I appreciate the effort. This is actually gonna be really good. I'm gonna try one more thing. I think this is gonna be super important, and hopefully it's gonna listen to me. Let's include it. Let's actually include this in the top. I wanna say something like, treat the topic of the article as the main keyword. Try to mention it as close to the top of the article as possible, and try to use it verbatim. This would be really cool if it actually listened to it. So basically what I said was best use cases for ChatGPT in marketing. I want this phrase to be used somewhere around here, like maybe even start with it somehow if possible. So let's just try this one more time. We're gonna start a new chat. We're gonna enable the plugins. We're gonna need them later. So let's see if it listens to my instructions here. Okay, it did what I asked it to do. Now here's the fun part. I would probably go back and modify the second query so that it uses it in a natural form, like it's in a conversational mode, not just put it in quotes and get the job done. That's a typical robot move, but I think you get the point. Let's move on to another use case, which I believe is more useful. So another great use case I think this can be useful for is, let's just delete these. I think copywriters would benefit from this a lot. So I would do something like, I'm a copywriter working at agency. I need to write very headline copy for selling digital products on how to build, how to create, how to gain actual good. And in here, I would probably ask it to write something like, write terse, factual, short, punchy, emotion invoking copy. Let's try a new chat. And in here, I would probably say like, give me 5 other ideas for a digital product. Let's just say financial freedom online. That's like generic enough. Break free. Master financial freedom online. Unleash your wealth. Unlock prosperity. Okay, these are pretty good. Okay, another great use case. I think a lot of people will benefit from this. It's not just bloggers and copywriters. I think regular writers who use ChatGPT can also use this. So for example, maybe you're writing children's books or fiction or something like that. You can instruct it to sound like you. Like I always use colorful language, or I always use like a lot of educational approaches in my writing. Whatever is your writing style, this second box here is where you should instruct ChatGPT on how to use that style. Also, I believe this would be very useful. For example, a person who is working in, say, customer support. Let's say they're working for like working for a CRM company. Just your typical run-of-the-mill online business. And actually for this use case, I think the first field will probably be more useful because Okay, this is just experimental. This is just to get you thinking, but I think you can input like a lot of information that you typically need to give to your customer. So maybe you have like your manuals, your guidelines, like how you're supposed to answer, what material you're supposed to draw from. I mean, obviously it's almost never gonna be like less than 1,500 characters, but if it's something that you constantly have to do, if it's like some sort of a repetitive work, I think you can input it there, and ChatGPT will also take that into account and produce responses with that in mind. Even better than that, this can be used by sales representatives. You would also input this here, so maybe you could use something like, my name is Conte and the name of my company is Sales Line. Use this when generating responses. Now let's see what it does. So generate the generic hitting for sales. Okay, this serves just to illustrate the point. So it remembers my name and it remembers the name of the company. This is awesome. This is gonna save people so much time. I wanna show you one more really cool use case. I believe this is gonna be great. So I think this can be very useful for people who use ChatGPT for writing code. So let's just say I am a JavaScript programmer. Here's what is really interesting to me. So I always use cost in my code, never var, and rarely that. Keep that in mind when writing the code. Let's save this. Let's just ask ChatGPT to write me a few functions on the basic arithmetic operations. Okay, there we go. It uses const all the time. That's awesome. Now let's see if we can make it play a different tune. So I always use let in my code, never var, and rarely const. Let's just see if it's gonna listen to what I said. Awesome. Yep, this is exactly what I'm saying. So it can adapt to your coding style, it can adapt to the way you write your code, and you can always make sure like you're following the same styling guidelines as the rest of your team, for example. This is beautiful. So all in all, we saw a few different use cases. I think this is gonna be an amazing feature. I'm gonna use it every day, no doubt about it. I'm gonna immediately program it to sound just like me so that I can like clone myself as soon as possible and have the clone do all the hard work. These features have been available in the Playground. If you're using the OpenAI Playground, then you know about that. But now the regular web interface for ChatGPT gets these features, and that's really cool. And what I would like to see in the future from ChatGPT is the ability to make several of these, like save them in profiles. Like maybe I need one context for like when I'm writing code, another one when I'm writing like a blog post or when I'm writing copy. So maybe I can switch between them, because right now if I have to switch between tasks, still have to like change the inputs, delete, remember stuff, write them down in another place, etc. I think that would be an even greater feature. Hope you like this guide. Like and subscribe if you did. Let me know how you're planning to use this feature, and I will see you soon.